The U.S. Justice Department has a decades-old policy that a sitting president cannot face criminal charges, so such a case against Trump would be unlikely while he is in office even if there were evidence of wrongdoing. Some legal experts have argued the department is wrong and that a president is not immune from prosecution. Either way, Trump potentially could face charges once he is out of office. Here is an explanation of some criminal investigations and civil lawsuits still underway. Mueller's criminal cases. Mueller charged 34 individuals and 3 companies. Several of those cases resulted in guilty pleas and one case went to trial, with former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort convicted in August 2018 of 8 criminal counts, including bank fraud and tax fraud. Longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone was indicted in January of this year and pleaded not guilty, but his trial is still pending. There are other cases involving indicted Russians that have not gone to trial. Other prosecutors within the Justice Department will likely take over criminal cases begun by Mueller, legal experts said. Business practices and financial dealings. Trump may face significant peril from federal prosecutors in Manhattan, according to legal experts. His former personal lawyer Michael Cohen said in February 27 congressional testimony that the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York is examining Trump's business practices and financial dealings. Cohen already has implicated Trump in campaign finance law violations to which he pleaded guilty in August 2018 as part of the Southern District investigation. Cohen admitted he violated campaign finance laws by arranging, at Trump's direction, hush money payments shortly before the 2016 presidential election to porn film actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy magazine model Karen McDougal to prevent damage to Trump's candidacy. Both women said they had sexual relationships with Trump more than a decade ago. He has denied that. Prosecutors said the payments constituted illegal campaign contributions intended to influence the election. Under federal election laws, such donations cannot exceed $2,700 and need to be publicly disclosed. Daniels, whose legal name is Stephanie Clifford, received $130,000. McDougal received $150,000. During his February 27 congressional hearing, Cohen said he was in constant contact with federal prosecutors in Manhattan, and said other crimes and wrongdoing by Trump are being investigated by them, though he did not offer details. Cohen said he could not testify about the nature of his last conversation with Trump in early 2018 because it was under investigation by the federal prosecutors in New York. New York State charges against Manafort. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is exploring criminal charges against Paul Manafort, President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, over financial crimes related to unpaid state taxes and possibly loans. In cases brought by Mueller, Manafort in 2018 was convicted of tax fraud, bank fraud, and failing to disclose foreign bank accounts in Virginia and pleaded guilty to 2 conspiracy charges in Washington. He was sentenced to a combined 7.5 years in prison in the 2 cases. Trump has not ruled out granting Manafort a pardon. The president would not be able to pardon Manafort if he is convicted of charges brought by the Manhattan District Attorney because they would not be federal crimes. However, New York has broad double jeopardy protections that usually prevent the state from prosecuting a person for crimes arising from the same criminal conduct the federal government has prosecuted before. Summer Zervis defamation lawsuit. Trump has agreed to provide written answers to questions from Zervis by September 28, according to a court filing. Zervis accused Trump of kissing her against her will at his New York office in 2007 and later groping her at a meeting at a hotel in California. More than a dozen women have accused Trump of making unwanted sexual advances against them years before he entered politics. Separately, 2 lawsuits against Trump brought by porn star Stormy Daniels were dismissed. The Trump Foundation, a lawsuit filed by the New York State Attorney General's office, has already led the Donald J. Trump Foundation, which was presented as the charitable arm of Trump's business empire, to agree in December 2018 to dissolve, and the litigation continues. The state is seeking an order banning Trump and his 3 eldest children from leadership roles in any other New York charity. Trump has said the lawsuit was concocted by sleazy New York Democrats. The state's Democratic Attorney General accused the foundation of being engaged in a shocking pattern of illegality and functioning as little more than a checkbook to serve Mr. Trump's business and political interests in violation of federal law. The Attorney General's office alleged Trump and his family members used the charity to pay off his legal debts and purchase personal items. The foundation agreed to dissolve and give away all its remaining assets under court supervision. Emoluments lawsuit. Trump is accused in a lawsuit filed by the Democratic Attorneys General of Maryland and the District of Columbia of violating anti-corruption provisions of the U.S. Constitution through his business's dealings with foreign governments. Some experts have said the case will eventually be heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. Trump Inaugural Committee. Federal prosecutors in New York are investigating whether the committee that organized Trump's inauguration in January 2017 accepted illegal donations from foreigners, misused funds, or brokered special access to the administration for donors. Federal election law prohibits foreigners from donating to U.S. political campaigns or inaugural committees, and corruption laws ban donors from making contributions in exchange for political favors. Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani said in December 2018 that the president was not involved in his inaugural committee. The $107 million raised by the committee, which was chaired by real estate developer and investor Thomas Barrack, was the largest in history, according to Federal Election Commission filings. Impeachment. Under the Constitution, the President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States can be removed from office by Congress through the impeachment process for treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. The House of Representatives acts as the accuser, voting on whether to bring specific charges such as obstruction of justice, and the Senate then conducts a trial with House members acting as prosecutors and the individual senators serving as jurors. A simple majority vote is needed in the House to impeach. A 2/3 majority is required in the Senate to convict and remove.